Are we live?
I think we are. Happy Friday.
What's up, everybody?
Never thought we'd make it to Friday,
No, ever.
but we did.
We're back. Hope everybody's getting ready for a really great long weekend. Memorial Day on Monday.
Hopefully you get that.
Yep. So make sure we remember everybody and welcome. And we got a lot of things to go over. So I'll pass this over to Justin. Where are we going to be?
I just barely sent out the email, so I want to kind of give it a minute
Okay.
before we
Well, we can talk about anything.
before we get into too much.
Oh, like that email that everybody can see the schedule? That's freaking genius.
Just inviting people to the live.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Also genius.
So we'll have some extra people rolling in here in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll pull up our little announcements here. We'll hit these events first, and then we can hit it again at the end. This weekend,
Yes.
tomorrow, May 24th, at City Arsenal in Greenville, South Carolina. I believe Tim's going to be there.
Tim is going to be there.
Nice.
Yep. So you can go chop it up with Tim,
Yep.
check out some silencers, maybe see Charlotte.
Yeah. Pet that dog.
That's a dog.
If you didn't know that, which you probably didn't.
And then we have our, and then for the kind of the week after that, we have the Florida Victory Lap. So that'll be May 27th at the Armories in Oviedo, Florida. Then May 28th at the Armories in Winter Garden, Florida. And then May 29th at the Armories in Kissimmee, Florida.
Kane's going to be busy.
Yep, Kane's working.
That'll take us into June then.
Yep.
Yes.
So Florida people, it's your week coming
That's
up.
right. Get out there. Go see the new silencers.
Yeah.
Shoot them. Hang out.
Ask your questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have what you think is a nice watch, go show it to Kane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kane is they're not watches, they're timepieces.
Sorry,
That's right.
Sorry, I do.
That's-
Thanks for catching that.
No, it's okay.
Hopefully, Kane doesn't hear that. Actually,
Kane's probably too busy working to be watching this right now, I hope.
All right. So, next on the agenda, there's a silencer shop giveaway.
Yep.
So, it's going to be a silencer shop and Ruger Mark IV, which is cool because it's a super short Mark
Yep.
IV.
That's like Silencer Shop exclusive special edition Mark IV.
Yep. And then we've got RXD 22 Ti. And then EOTech is throwing in an eFlex red dot in that package as
nice.
well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be super cool. That starts today. Where can they find the link?
So link should be in the caption of the live.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right there in the caption. So if you want to get in on that little giveaway,
Yep.
and that'll be running all the way through June. So and we'll
Definitely.
So you could sign up for that anytime and be entered.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
And that little look, a Mark IV is fun,
It is.
but that little with the shortened barrel, suppressed,
Pretty cool.
it's
Great
cool.
host.
Yeah, it's
Great
really cool.
suppressor host. Easy to disassemble for cleaning.
Yeah, those are really fun.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in if you like a giveaway, if you're interested in maybe winning that, go ahead and tap that link. And then the next little announcement.
Yeah.
I think I'll just turn over to you.
We got something kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
And
This is very
This
exciting.
is our next collaboration. So, going to be super limited runs, but collaboration with Winkler. Winkler Knives, if you guys are into blades, tomahawks, Winkler Knives has been around for a long time. Dan Winkler did the tomahawks for Last of the Mohicans movie. And obviously, a lot of units and teams out there are using his tomahawks and blades.
If you're familiar with the terminal list, Jack Carr the author, is big on
You got it right there.
Jack Carr, wrote the Winkler Tomahawk into that series.
Yep.
Smart.
So this is our collaboration with Winkler. We did, this is one of their new axes that's going to be debuting at Blade Show in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's a brand new profile.
Yes, brand new profile for them. And so we did it with our spin, so black sculpted handles, their blade profile, and then we did a 3/4 inch wrench on the end. So you can use this for installing and removing muzzle devices in the field, because everyone should have a good axe in their
Kind of cool, right?
Yeah. I would recommend make sure that the sheath is on the blade if you're going to use the wrench.
Or be cognizant
Yeah,
of where
be
your
careful.
hand is being put.
Yeah.
Be
Either
careful.
or.
Don't cut yourself.
Please.
So these are going to be super limited. We'll see if Cody can get a visual on the markings. But
Are they all numbered?
so we have at Blade Show, there's going to be serial number 1 through 25.
If I can put a little more light on that.
Yeah. 1 through 25 is going to be available for purchase at Blade Show. We are going to have a very limited quantity of these that are going to be available and go and head towards all of our asylum members. In terms of you will be first in line to be able to purchase these from us. So there's very, very limited quantity. So make sure you guys are staying tuned to the asylum. If you're not a member of the asylum, if you own even one of our silencers, you can join the asylum. But then once you
Correct.
have 2 or more, then you can get some swag. 3, you get some more swag. And then 5 is the top tier. So,
Okay. Blade Show,
yes.
then Asylum,
Yep.
then the e-store.
If there's any left, we may throw them up to the general public.
Got it.
And you, Tasson, you'll be at Blade Show, correct?
I will be,
That's
yeah.
in 2 weeks, two
So
weeks from today?
Yeah, it's going to be the June 6th through the 8th in Atlanta, Georgia. If you guys are in the area or going to Blade Show, we are booth 2517. So you guys can come and see us, and you can purchase one of those blades there.
Very limited run.
Very limited run. So serial numbers 1 through 25 are going to have a very limited patch as well that goes with those 25 units. Mike Pappas and Daniel Winkler have signed the box.
Ooh.
So you guys are going to get a pretty exclusive batch right there.
So Kane and Tasson.
Yeah,
Blade
so
show.
Kane and I will be there. Also, Tony and John will be there. So we'll have a good little crew
Nice.
there. So it's going to be super cool. This is our first project into blades, so we're super happy about this and excited to get these out there to you guys. Awesome.
Okay, now we're deep into June on our schedule.
Yeah. Well, beginning of June.
We're getting there.
It's going to be here and gone before we know it. That's
Yes,
for
it
sure.
will.
Perfect. Awesome. Shall we jump into the main topic then?
Yeah, we'll just move on forward. The topic for today, and this is just kind of a little, probably a refresh for a lot of people, but maybe just a good little piece of advice for others. We're just going to do a quick little once-over on options for mounting on your PCCs and subguns.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Go ahead.
Well, we have direct thread. We have Nielsen device booster. We have fixed barrel spacer for those pistons. And we have micro chemo and micro xeno.
Definitely.
I know, well, I say easy, but it could be kind of complicated depending on what you want to do. But if you have any questions with that, and a lot of people do, is why we wanted to just say, reach out to us and we'll help walk you through that. Because there's a lot of oddball thread pitches and different ways to skin that cat, as it were.
Definitely. Also, we've got Xeno and Chemo Zeros. which are
Oh,
super
muzzle
cool.
devices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have.
So we can expand on
Yeah,
all the
underneath
muzzle
the
devices.
pistons, there'd be a whole array of thread pitches and brakes and flash hiders and muzzle devices of
Yeah.
all sorts.
And good caliber diversity range as well for your subguns. So we're talking, 45, 10, 40, 9.
Don't
380
hesitate
action.
to ask if you
Ooh.
need
Yeah,
Plus-
absolutely.
3 lug.
Yeah, we've got
There's just a lot of ways to go on that.
a lot of ways to do it. So there's an answer for your host gun out there for sure.
I like Key Micro.
I like them all.
Yeah.
We've got some
And
3-lug guns.
That's a me thing.
Yeah.
I just like it.
No, I
There's
like a
nothing wrong
QD
with that.
system on a.
I like that you like it.
And I see
Yeah.
why people would do other things.
For me, this is just the way that I work. I like the thing that I like with a particular firearm host the best.
Yes.
Like on a Navy barrel HK, I do 3-lug instead of thread something onto the provided threads. Just the way that I work. No wrong way to do it.
Yeah, depending on how the gun's set up, that's usually how I go as well. I definitely want quick detach all the time. I don't want a direct thread. That's just my personal opinion, but
Most of the time.
Yep.
yeah.
Both so much better answers than what I said.
no, you
Don't
like
say
what you
that.
like. Perfect. Well, we can open up to some general questions.
Yeah. So to the point of the topic, if there's anyone out
Yeah.
there who's trying to make that decision, what do I do with my PCC or my subgun? Ask it in the live today.
Yeah, throw it in there. We're
Yeah, if
happy
you
to
don't
direct
know.
you.
And then we'll, of course, answer any other questions. Let's open it up. What you guys got this week?
I'd like to say this. Normally when I get pulled over, I don't answer questions. In this case, I'd like to answer them. Sorry, sometimes YouTube kind of twists my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
It took me down a road of people that were not cooperative with law enforcement there for about 2 weeks. And I started finding myself not wanting to answer questions. I don't do that.
Right.
Not getting out of the car either.
Well, you don't have to do anything. Honestly, this.
But I want to. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I want
good,
to.
good.
This isn't like that.
I was going to say, Tasson and I can handle it
I want to answer.
for this week.
Hell, if we were in a car, I'd want to get out of it. Or not, if you said not to, whatever.
The people,
I'm over that.
The people will be happier.
That was some months ago, that whole YouTube thing when I was going around the office saying I didn't answer
Yes.
questions.
Yes.
Really entertained me. Said I'd recycle that.
No, it's always old but gold right there.
Okay, let's answer some questions.
Okay, here's a little question. I've got a HK 416-22. I plan to teach my 3-year-old to shoot with it. What's the best dead air option for this purpose? Do you recommend direct thread in this case?
Yeah, rimfire is going to be, for the most part, kind of a direct thread game, most cases. A mask could probably be your easy answer on that.
Yeah, I would say
That's threaded half 28, right?
yes.
Pretty
Yep, so
certain.
that's easy.
Yes. We've shot those guns. Mask is super excellent for that. Also RXD 22 Ti, another great option.
Which would also be cool.
So it just kind of depends on what you like.
But right now, this minute, I'll bet you
This
can
minute,
find
if
a
you
mask.
go, if you're going to
Fairly
try
easy.
and buy today, masks are out there. So go snag one of those. If you're okay waiting a little bit for us to ship out some more of those RXD 22 Ti's, then snag one of those.
Those also might be a little tricky to come by for a minute, as there's a little bit of a want for that.
Yeah. No, they're going to be in high demand, and you can never have enough rimfire cans. I'll say that. You're always going to have more rimfire guns. They're super fun. They're the least expensive gun to shoot out there. It's just a good time. So I highly recommend snagging a couple rimfire cans just because that's
Fair.
the general way everybody goes.
Here we go. We get this one every once in a while. What's your can preference for Daniel Defense PDW 300 Black?
Ooh.
That's a tough one. I'd probably say Wolfman if I had to come up with one answer. That
Yeah.
would be a super good sounding can and kind of fit on that gun and be a good little bounce back and forth between supers and subs and then fit guns kind of in that basic zip code,
Yeah.
as it were.
No, I would agree. I like that for a little PDW. The Wolfman is kind of, one, it's an excellent option, but I kind of think it's almost slept on a little bit in 300 Blackout, and it's incredible.
Agreed.
It sounds amazing. So,
Choice 2 for that for me would be Sam NX.
yeah, you could go Sam NX.
That's what I was going to
Nomads.
say.
Nomad
choice.
30 would
And
be
I'm not-
awesome.
Choice.
I'm not just saying that. I really was thinking that.
No, I know you were waiting for me to say something so you could say that, and that's totally fine. But yeah, get it? Great answer.
You got a lot of choices, so pick which
Yeah.
one you like the looks of, what pairs well with the gun, what type of mounting option you're going to go with, all that.
You
falls
could
into
do a Nomad 30.
Yeah.
See, that'd be kind of a bolt gun can, though. I mean, I'm just assuming that this guy's more into semi-autos. I don't know. But if you had a bunch of bolt guns and this black, then absolutely, that'd change the game.
Yeah. Be awesome.
I like that.
Okay, moving on. Oh, this guy said, masks are great. I have 2 of them. Good call.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
See? Most people don't just have one rimfire can.
Yeah, pick up.
Well, if you've got kids or friends, which I'm thinking most people probably do, have one or the other, maybe even both, you can throw a few rimfire cans around and use them if somebody doesn't have one. And at minimum, you could, as a one-person rifle and handgun. That's what I find myself doing. I'm kind of a dual rimfire.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd like to shoot a little pistol and some rifle at the same time, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to sit and mess with it.
No, you don't want to swap them out.
As things go, they're fairly reasonably priced. I mean, after you buy some more expensive ones, they seem cheaper. Seems easier to spend the money on.
Right.
That's super true. That's how it goes.
Proportional, right?
Got a Sandman X as my first suppressor.
Nice.
Nice.
Classy.
Strong start. The flash hider came installed. How do I remove it from the suppressor so I can swap between my Arrow 308 and my Blackout Defense 556 with their chemo hybrid?
You want to take the muzzle device out of the mount on the can? Am I reading that right?
I think so.
Probably the easiest thing to do would be to hold the can with one hand and take a 3/4 inch wrench or crescent wrench or something of that nature, and then just rotate the muzzle device around and it will unlock. It'll stop moving and then pull straight out.
Yeah.
Unless it's chemo, right? Not Xeno, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's chemo. So
there you go.
that'll get the job done.
Easy. We just set it inside the mount. It, general speak, will just pull right out.
Yeah.
But
If
who
it's
knows?
not, also make sure your teeth are lined up.
Someone
So
might
you
have
can pull it
fiddled
out.
with it or something, and
Yeah.
you might have to maybe, because if they turn the collar down, right?
Yeah.
But turning that mount till it stops will unlock all that.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Here's an interesting question. What's the best way to prevent direct thread walk-off?
Continually check it for tightness.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the best
really-
way.
It is, but there's several different ways. You could do a little bit of like blue Loctite or even red if you wanted. You could put a little bit of Teflon tape on it. You could try to tighten it on if you can get a wrench on your muzzle device, like hook spanner will fit on.
Yep.
Or they'll also have on ours, general speak, a direct thread mount. You can get a wrench in there.
Yes.
Try to apply a little bit more torque, and you can kind of lock the threads up a little bit, and that'll buy you a bunch of time. But I really think the easiest and best way is just to, continual checking.
Yep.
As you shoot a little bit, just make that kind of part of your routine.
Yeah.
Make sure it's tight.
Absolutely.
That's what I do. It's not elegant, but it works.
Or if it's a gun that can take QD, go with the QD system. Just saying.
QD will definitely end the problem of it coming loose much better than straight direct thread.
Mm-hmm.
What is your recommendation for a suppressor for a Glock 43X MOS?
Oh, Mojave 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Be awesome.
Mojave 9.
Yep.
Maybe even Mojave 9 in the short configuration.
Oh, yeah.
Would be nice for that.
Nice, lightweight.
You could obviously do it long, but
Yeah.
Maybe you do both.
yeah, just
What do they call that? Switch hitting? You could do that.
you could swing either way on that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Here's a question that kind of comes up since the RXD launch. We've kind of seen this a couple times. Pros and cons of the mask versus the RXD 22 Ti.
That's fairly easy. Your RXD interfaces with a muzzle device, and that could be a pro or a con depending on what you want, but let's just call them differences in feature, and then you get to decide which one works best for you. That will allow you to, as thread pitches come out, put the muzzle device on barrels that are threaded in, say, 8 by 0.75 or 10 by 1.0 or something of that nature, to not have to have a thread adapter for the length and tolerance stacking. An RXD core to muzzle device taper is super aggressive, and it really resists coming loose. To kind of going back to the earlier gentleman's question about direct thread, that is like Tasson said, you're now putting it on a thread with taper, more QD system than direct thread, and I've never seen one come loose. I mean,
Yeah.
if anything, it's harder to get off.
Yeah, the taper is
So-
super awesome. So
You've got that,
they're just, I would agree with Mike. I think they're just super different.
and you also have you've got a 3D printed monocore. So it, unlike a machined monocore, like that you make out with whatever your design is on 1/8" end mill or whatever you've decided to make in a core, this is a super good sounding and very low back pressure can. So if back pressure was kind of your game, you'd pick RXD. If you were annoyed with your can coming loose or didn't want to check it, you'd probably pick RXD.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things. The mass baffles are stainless.
A mask is now a mask baffle is stainless, and it is also shielded. It's a compressed K design, and a mask is a super good sounding can that works incredible in a lot of different situations, and the cleaning is super easy.
Mm-hmm.
With the baffles being shielded, once in a while we'll get somebody setting one in that's completely filled with lead, and it weighs half a pound more than it weighed
Yeah.
before. We've never had one that we couldn't get apart fairly easily.
Yeah.
Way
It is.
great positive check in the box for mask. You know,
Yeah.
they, like Tasson says, they kind of each have their place a little bit.
Yeah, they're just different. I wouldn't say there's really any con. The RxD 22 Ti is slightly quieter than the mask, and you know, it may be easier for some to deal with without having clipped K-style baffles. It's one piece.
Yeah, correct.
It depends on the type of user experience you would like. Both cans are going to be absolutely excellent. So, which one do you like the looks of more? Which features do you like more? Do you want a true QD? Do you want direct thread? Those are all going to factor into your purchase.
Agree.
Are you suggesting that we want people to just pick the right tool for the right job?
Absolutely.
Kind of, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Every time.
Love
Like
that.
that's the gist, right?
Love that. All right, I'm gonna jump forward in the questions here, just because we'll get back to the silencer related questions. This one's probably gonna be primarily for Mike. Best steel saw to take down an eastern white pine.
I would, okay, 066, like a classic flat top, always a good choice. MS660, kind of my favorite. I don't know about the 661, all the auto-tune stuff. Like, I prefer just to tune to the day, warm it up, put a little tune on it, and start cutting. I'm not sure exactly what an eastern white pine it is. Like, I don't picture it. I'm picturing some kind of pine tree, and I'm back east. Frickin' level that thing right now with my gasoline-powered razor blade. 660. Can I say this before we get off? I know, sorry. Really like chainsaws. When you go to buy a saw, pick them up, and the one that you think you can wield the best all day, that's the heaviest, that's your baby.
Ooh, yeah.
There's no substitute for horsepower and size when it comes to sawing. Don't get the little one because it's light and it's super handy, because they suck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, no more saws.
Excellent. Thanks for taking that one. Thanks for
Yeah,
fielding that one. I
sure.
wanted to help that guy out.
Get it.
Okay. It's kind of a titanium question here. How not full auto rated is the Nomad TIXC? My dealer said he shoots his full auto no problem.
You could do that. U-Haul, I'm sure when Chevettes were more popular, I know they made a hitch for a Chevette. Like, I wouldn't call a Chevette a great tow vehicle. It's best not to do that.
Yeah, it's
Don't auto your titanium can.
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
yeah, that's not a good time.
Like, I like how your dealer colors outside the lines, as it were, but that's just not smart.
No, we have plenty of silencers that are full auto rated, designed for that purpose, and better silencers overall with less back pressure and everything. So I don't see why you would do that.
How do you think the back pressure would be on a 11-inch M16, 10 and a quarter, 11 and a half with a Nomad in auto?
I
That sounds
think you should get the right tool
horrible.
for the right job.
Yeah, fair.
And we're back. Yeah, and that's the thing is not full auto rated, that doesn't mean that it's that doesn't mean that can's gonna just explode.
No.
But we want you to get the most out of what you bought
Yes.
and use it for the right purpose, and
Yeah.
you're probably going to get a lot more years out of that TIXC if you're using it.
You'll have a
the
better
standards.
experience with it,
Yeah.
for sure.
What else we got here? Is the Lazarus or Mojave safe to submerge for cleaning? Or don't be extra and let it eat? Love the products.
No, you submerge it for
Yeah, you
cleaning.
could
for
soak
sure.
it.
Yeah. Take off your front cap and your back adapters on either of those. And you could do a dip method. That's not a problem. Just be aware, any sort of cleaning solution, you could possibly have some finish removal on the Cerakote.
Yeah.
So just be aware.
It can kind of, even, I've seen it not take it off or really hurt it, but give it kind of a duller, like a more matte, flatter look.
Yep.
Too.
But you can
Part of the
always
game,
you can
right?
always repaint your cans. It's not that big of a deal. So we're happy to send you guys those Cerakote codes so you can get them repainted if you need to. Get a
Easy.
scratch, no big deal. Whatever. It's easy.
This guy just said, loved the AC556 vid.
Oh, dude, thanks.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of you to say.
I liked that one too.
You know, on that subject, maybe I have a question. Do you guys want to know what I do, like gun-wise, like what I'm doing? No, probably not. Okay, you don't have to answer. I'll just tell you anyway, right? Old John at M13 just did some rebarreling for actually Tasson and I SVDs, and I'm super excited to make up some hand loads. Actually, I'm going to shoot it. We got them shipped yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John, if you're watching, like, how much do we owe you? I mean, we'll have to pay him, right? Because we're
Yeah.
going to see him again, right?
Yep,
Anyway.
absolutely.
Test fire it tonight after work. We're going to do a little 1 day a week. We try to, anybody that wants to after work, we go across there's a little range over about 2 miles away from us, and we go over there and just kind of shoot for fun with each other.
Yeah.
Last time we did, I let everybody shoot that AC556. It seemed fun.
Yeah.
Cool little gun.
Runs super well. Nice.
But I'm totally into this freaking M63 thing now.
Yeah.
This Russian communist precision garbage rod.
Yes.
Hand loading will be ensuing at the Pappas house.
Oh, yeah.
Over the weekend. Then more shooting.
I'm going to say it.
Say it.
Can't believe how light that thing is.
I'd pick it up. But
That
I
was
told-
my experience.
It's actually right here. I could almost touch it. Supposedly I can't touch guns on YouTube. That's what I'm told.
Not on a live.
Sorry.
Yep. But yeah, we're fans of the SVD.
Yes, we are.
You see it. It's long. It's got all the wood on it.
Yep.
I shouldn't say you. I thought it was going to be heavy. I picked it up. I was like, yeah, I could work with this.
It's super sexy.
Yeah.
It's a light and handy rifle.
Yeah,
It is. And I think people discount the shooting experience of it. We were shooting, I've got a Tiger, and I had some out of the just some Wolf 54R steel case ammo. Nothing special. Tasson went 9 out of 10 on a plate at 1,050 yards out of the back of my truck, off the bed of my truck, with its factory bipod, and he says that one's a miss, and one flew by, but he went 9 out of 10 and called one in the air as a miss. Beautiful.
It's
What
a
a fun rifle to shoot.
sweet gun.
It's like a Romanian PSL without all the suck. Sorry, like I have a PSL, but I don't really shoot it much because it kind of sucks. But
No, SVDs are cool.
yeah,
And it's almost never been a better time to snag an SVD because those Hungarian SVDs are out there. Like, they're expensive, but you can snag one.
you could.
So, and there was,
Peace of Mind have one?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they had one on their wall.
That's pretty cool.
I think.
I bet they did.
So you could
Don't
get
quote
like a
me on that.
factory SVD,
Brand new.
in the box. It's pretty nice, and I know there was some discussion at SHOT about a company making American-made SVDs.
Which would be awesome.
That would be super cool. So we'll see where that goes.
We'd put the communist ones away if we could do that.
Those would be tucked away, nice and safe.
Okay. Are the Sierra 5 pretty good 5.56 cans? I own a Primal,
yeah.
and it's great on my Ruger AR.
Yes.
Let's do, I think, differences in Sierra 5 and Lazarus 6 would be its kind of second option in that bore size. And a 6 is, instead of 5.5, it's 6, so you can shoot 6 stuff through it, so that's kind of cool. A Sierra 5 is shorter and lighter, and a Sierra 5 is a cone baffled can. It's a stellite can, a welded core stellite can. It can be pretty outstanding on some longer barreled things where a little bit of cone baffle is better than some flow through. You know, as it were, low back pressure. Sorry. So you've got the Lazarus, on the other hand, is a Haynes 282 printed super low back pressure can that is outstanding at all that kind of short barrel stuff, especially. But it is a little bit heavier and a little bit longer.
I would agree
They
with
both
everything.
mount the same.
Yeah. Either of those would be a great option.
Would be
though.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, just kind of depends what you want to prioritize,
Yeah.
what you're looking
And
for.
the look that you want to.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sierra 5 has a cool look with the knurling,
Yeah.
I think. It's like it
Super
really
cool
fits
look.
in on some things, and it
Yeah.
looks totally right.
Okay, this was asked twice. Best option for 8.6 blackout. Nomax
No
33
Nomax 33.
is awesome.
And a Nomax 33 is kind of a big can for 8.6 blackout, but that's the only 33 cal can that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, small case. Nomax is centered around 338 Lapua type case volumes, Magnum 33 caliber rifles. So hopefully that helps you.
Oh, yeah. You could also use the primal, though,
You
on
could.
8.6
You could.
if you wanted. Just saying.
Okay, what else we got here? I just got a Century Arms AP5 SD. What suppressor should I use? And should I go with direct thread or tri-lug?
Well,
That's like a SD looking
it's
handguard,
SD looking
but with regular.
with a regular barrel on the inside, and it does, I believe it does have a tri-lug or threading on the barrel as well.
So it's like Navy.
Yeah. So I would say you go with a Wolfman and a tri-lug. That way you're not going to have to worry about any walking with direct thread or anything like that. You get that fatter can look like a true SD can. You can run it short or long. I think you're good.
Much like Justin, I was thinking the same thing.
You guys nailed that one.
Tasson did. I just agreed.
I was thinking I'm going to let these guys handle this one.
Same thing.
Well, you know I am a fan of an SD.
Yes, you are.
Let's see. What else we got here? This guy said, I was just about to ask about a primal in 8.6. You could do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll work. It'll be quiet. What else we got here? Best can for SBR MCX Spear.
Ooh, what caliber?
Yeah, what is the caliber?
Cover it with a primal no matter what he said, huh?
Safe answer.
That's a safe bet right there.
Is that what you were thinking? Okay, I didn't mean that. That was a total joke. We'll help you get the right thing.
Will adding a different front cap to the primal help quiet a spicy round like 5.56 or 308?
A little.
Little bit.
Not a ton, but yeah, it'll certainly help.
Another comment on the this guy said, seeing you shoot the Mini 14 in shooting position 1982 brought him great joy yesterday.
Yeah. I once said to myself, I'm never going to shoot this rifle lest it be from the hip. But I just couldn't go. I couldn't. It was too much commitment for me.
Shooting a 375 Raptor, 5/8 by 24 threaded barrel. I have a primal suppressor. Do you have a threaded muzzle brake that fits in the primal?
Well, I don't think we do for 37.
No.
We do 33.
Yeah, that's
Not right now.
Yep.
We've talked about that, but sorry, not at this moment in time.
Yep.
Well, oh no, not a muzzle brake. Nope.
I don't think so.
I was gonna say you could do a Xeno Zero, but that's not a brake.
I'm flipping through the catalog in my mind and I don't see it.
Yep. Chemo 46, not threaded.
Mm-hmm.
That would kind of be your QD option, though, probably.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? Is it normal to have quite a bit of muzzle flash from my TI XC used with an e-brake? How much muzzle flash are we talking here?
Well, you're always going to get a little sparking with titanium.
Yeah.
That's part of your can flying down range.
You will have a little bit more.
Just a little bit.
You'll have a
Just
little
a
bit
little.
more flash out of that e-brake too.
Yeah.
I would think just because of the amount of ports where
Plus,
the gases can
and
flow.
but it will change the look of it, right? Because you're going to get a longer, more cylindrical pencil shape
Mm-hmm.
flash without it. But with that, it'd be dimmer, but yet larger in diameter and shorter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be a little different. But
Yeah.
yes, you'd probably expect a little flash, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For Mojave 9, what's the superior mounting system for 9mm PCC / 300 blackout over Key Micro?
Xeno.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Little
think that
P
same
series
thing too,
Xeno.
agree.
Yeah. That would do both of those calibers perfectly.
Yep.
And it's less expensive, lighter, smaller. There no moving parts.
Yeah.
Agree.
I'm finally entering the 6mm arc world. I'm building a mutt with a 16-inch barrel. I'm thinking about going with your new Sandman since I have plenty of 7.62 that would love it as well.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah,
Good
that would
choice.
work.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I
Low
can't
back
argue
pressure.
with that on any level.
Low back pressure, versatility. Think that'll be nice.
Yeah. You have other hosts that are 7.62. That sounds like a great option for you.
It's winning.
Have you guys started using these FRTs with dead air cans?
Yes. We have shot those. We've also shot true full auto guns.
Some real
With
full
our
autos.
cans?
Yeah.
Our warehouse manager, although he can sometimes appear to be somewhat mentally unstable, has a really super nice. Well, he's not. He just. I see how people think that. I love the guy. He does that a lot, and it's pretty magical.
No, that
He does it,
FRTs
yeah.
are running well out there, and they seem to be gaining more and more popularity every day. So,
And if you have a Lazarus,
ooh,
if you have a Sandman X,
Wolverine.
And you get to avoid all that pesky prison time, which I like.
let's see.
Does the Dead Air Wolverine ship with the hub mount? It does not.
Yep,
It
good
ships
question.
with a 14x1 left-hand direct thread insert, but we have the hub adapters for sale. So if you'd like to swap that over to a quick detach system, you can do that.
We should make a Wolverine that ships with every possible mounting scenario,
That would actually be cool.
right?
It would be cool.
I've wanted to do that for a while.
I don't know how many
It'd
people
be a
would.
Wolverine and a wheelbarrow full of mounts.
Oh,
You never use, but you could use.
yeah. That'd be so cool, though.
Can the Sandman X work on an AK-47?
If that said AK-47 is hideously straight, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want
that's
to
a
make
good
sure
point.
you check alignment with that.
I was gonna say yes,
But yes, it can.
I'm glad you were thinking that.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, man, I hope this guy doesn't have a Wasser 10.
We have fixed a lot of Wasser 10s.
Yeah, it's fixable.
Yeah.
Now,
you
I-
can make them straight.
Yeah, I've straightened out a ton of them with a file, being real careful and filing the muzzle back to straight, pull the can back into the middle, boom, good to go.
I will say, if everything checks out, if you get a alignment rod, you make sure it's good to go. I actually love a Sandman X on an AK.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, a Sandman
Big
X
fan.
on an AK 7.62x39 is a great cartridge going through that.
Through a Sandman
compressor.
X, yeah.
We shot
Agreed.
Nick's Galil quite a bit.
Yep.
In 7.62x39, and that setup, excellent.
That thing sounded great.
sounded great. So
Yeah, it's tons of can for
Yeah.
that little cartridge.
Yeah.
And it's good.
good times.
This person said, find someone that looks at you like Justin looked at my Asylum shirt at CanCon. I hope you always dress that way around me.
Sounds like we have a little bromance of brewing, which is totally fine.
It's a good look. What can I say? Okay, 20-inch 300 Win Mag. Okay with TIXC?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Oh,
that'll
yeah.
be nice. Also, should I get a mask or RXD for a Ruger Precision Rimfire 17 HMR?
Ooh.
Whichever one that you like the most on that, they both outstanding on.
I'm going to go back to my answer I said earlier. If you want to go buy one today, right now,
Agreed.
you have
Oh, a
a better
mask
shot
is-
of getting a mask.
A mask is going to be your target.
You flip a coin, you're going to love it. We've shot RPR in 22 long rifle with both of those quite a bit, and it's phenomenal. So you're going to be happy either way.
Here's a good question. Do muzzle brakes benefit a suppressor, or are flash hiders better?
It depends on how, like, what you're doing. Oh, and I'll give you a couple of examples to kind of explain that without, like, boring you to tears. If you're going to get real hardcore with something, you for sure want a flash hider. You will melt a muzzle brake inside of a can when it gets, like, put into really heavy firing situations. That muzzle brake will be glowing, and it will just take a ton of heat. And you'll break a muzzle brake apart before you break a flash hider in that kind of case. A flash hider, if you shoot a flash hider a ton on a can for a very long time and you look in there, you can see where the flash hider's focused energy on the blast baffle, and it will start to erode it in those 3 little troughs it'll start to make in it. This is very long term. A muzzle brake, when shot in most situations, not like just going nuts, will extend the longevity of your silencer and kind of help to soften the impact on your blast baffle and your second baffle, where the erosion really starts to happen over time. a muzzle brake will, general speak, provide maybe a dB or so, maybe 2, depending on your rifle barrel, cartridge, yada yada, all the things in that situation, can provide a little lower dB number. So sometimes you can eke a little bit of sound out of a muzzle brake over a flash hider, but
That's not noticeable to the human ear, though.
you'd never,
So,
you'd have to have a meter.
Yeah, you would never perceive
I'm
that.
just saying, like, the differences are small, and in most cases, for most people, pick the one that you like, and don't worry about all the, I mean, you ask what the differences are, so I want to answer that, but they're not super relevant, as it were. Does that make sense? Did I just put myself to sleep? 'Cause I kind of did.
No, I would agree with that. I think the biggest question is going to be, what do you guys want to utilize when you're not shooting suppressed?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's going to be your big question to answer first before anything else.
I'd say way more important.
Yeah.
How much recoil reduction does the e-brake help with on average? My 24-inch 300 Win Mag is long for hunting with the TIXC and debating if the extra length is worth it.
That's a good question, and I don't know that we have a average number that I could give you. I would tell you this, it's mildly noticeable. If a little bit of extra recoil reduction is important to you, then it would be enough. It's not night and day. But if you're just barely missing some shots in the scope, and you think if you really bared down on the rifle and held it really super tight and shot, and then you got to watch impacts in the scope, it would help you do that. Just
I
cross
think it
that
makes
fine line.
a difference, yeah. When you go back to back, you can tell that difference.
Well, I'd say this, though. I mean, and I agree with you, the lighter your rifle, right? Because if you did that same setup and that same caliber on an MRAD, it doesn't matter if you have an e-brake or not. When your rifle weighs 17 pounds,
yeah.
you're getting to see all your impacts. So I don't know. It's a personal thing.
Casey,
Tough question.
who's our resident long range shooter, ELR, all that stuff, swears by the e-brake. So
He's hardcore
yes,
on the e-brake.
Yeah,
He
so-
loves an e-brake. It fits in his life, though.
yes,
Like, he's shooting also super long range targets from like a fixed shooting position, so I don't think Casey could carry his rifles up into the trees. They weigh like 1,000 pounds.
yeah, they're probably 150 pounds apiece.
Each, yeah. Yeah, I would say it sounds like this guy, you got your 24-inch 300 Win Mag, so I'm assuming you haven't committed to building the absolute lightest gun possible. If you're totally prioritizing like weight and size, then I'm going to say go with just Nomad TIXC, keep it super light, keep it super short. But if you're already kind of in that range where you're like, I'm kind of already pretty long, like I haven't 100% prioritized as lightweight as possible, add in that extra inch and that extra, 1 to 2 ounces, you're going to get some recoil reduction. That'll be really nice.
Or go with the RXD 30 Ti, which has the 3D printed in e-brake. It's all one piece. That may solve what you're looking for right there.
Okay, that's the best answer.
That's the answer. I wasn't thinking
saying.
that.
I wasn't thinking that either.
Glad you said that.
Yeah,
It might
Tasson
be
came
a
out
good
of
fit.
left field with like the best answer.
Check out the RXD 30 Ti.
Sorry, that's going to be one expensive freaking e-brake.
Okay.
Worth it.
I don't know if this guy, I'm just going to ask the question. I know the answer. Mike, are you a fan of the K&S piston for your AK guns
Big
suppressed?
Yes, I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
get that.
All the AKs around
Phenomenal
here get K&S
product.
pistons.
Yeah. I'd also say, I'd go so far as to say VZ58 and any kind of, when I say Galil, I mean actual, like IMI type Galil.
Mm.
Not so much Ace, but those Galils and Valmets.
Solid accessory to
And-
grab.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have down talked the PSL like I did earlier. That was wrong. I apologize for that. A PSL piston is freaking phenomenal. Also,
I would agree
you
with
can
that.
tune that gun and that rifle with can. Even though it sucks, it's kind of cool. So I did it again. I can't stop from doing it.
How does Xeno compare to chemo in point of impact repeatability when a suppressor is removed and reinstalled?
Never seen a difference in that.
Yeah, it's
I would agree.
hollow pointed. This is Doug in Colorado. Nomad TIXC has been rock solid in comps. Appreciate all you dudes.
That's awesome.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for shooting the can. And he's been doing I think the NRL Hunter matches has
Oh,
kind
nice.
of been his recent thing.
Yep.
That'd be a good person to ask about knee break.
Absolutely.
I don't know if he has one yet.
Well, I don't know if he does either, but if,
Yeah, but he's
he
got a lot
didn't,
of time
then-
behind the trigger with standard then, so.
I mean, his answer would be good either way.
Okay, I think we're just right about at that hour point. So
Yeah.
maybe we take one or two more and then we can wrap this one up. Best suppressor for a 10 mil 8-inch barrel CMMG Banshee.
Mojave 45 or Primal.
Yeah.
Either of those, depending on what other types of guns you're going to be using, are going to be excellent for that. I've shot a lot of 10 mil through both of those. Awesome.
I'd agree with you on the. I would let my other rifles decide. If I didn't have any other rifles and I was just going to put a can on that, I think I'd do Mojave 45.
Yeah.
It's kind of geared to that. It's lighter. I like how you could make it.
Modular.
That'd be my answer.
Either of those are going to be phenomenal.
Okay. And then maybe we'll close up on this one. 10.5 inch and 5.56 recommendations, please.
Lazarus 6.
Yeah, I'm going to go Lazarus 6.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Shoot it. Great tone. Low back pressure. No barrel length restrictions. Full auto rated. Looks super cool.
If you were sitting on a pile of classic 7.62 NATO chambered battle rifles, I'd switch that to Sandman X.
Yeah.
Always depends on what you have.
Yeah, that
See,
Yeah.
because I thought about that. Maybe I should have formed a Lazarus to that AC 5.56. But my house seems very much like I pulled up into a 7.62 NATO neighborhood and put her in park and got out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I felt like that'd be more useful for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So to the point of the previous question about the 10 mil, if you want the versatility, if this is 5.56 dedicated, well, you could still go either way. It's your choice.
Yeah.
But you want the versatility, Sandman X is still awesome on a short barrel 5.56.
Yeah, the 10 mil guy, if the 10 mil gentleman said I had 12 45-70 chambered lever guns,
Yep.
that definitely changed my
Yeah.
attitude off the Mojave 45.
Yeah. Easy one. Okay.
Awesome.
Well,
Right.
maybe let's re-hit some of these announcements
Sure.
just to cap things off, because for the late joiners, we do want to just real quick hit the events coming up. If you are in the Greenville, South Carolina area, Tomorrow, there will be a Dead Air Day at City Arsenal. So you can go see Tim, check out some cans, hang out. And then May 27th at the Armories in Oviedo, Florida. We will be there. May 28th, the Armories in Winter Garden, Florida. And May 29th, the Armories in Kissimmee, Florida. And then one more plug for the Silencer Shop giveaway. That just went live today. You can win a Silencer Shop Ruger exclusive Mark IV. That's the one with a shortened barrel. Very cool. With an RXD 22 Ti and an EOTech E-Flex for that. So
Yeah.
that just went live today. Runs till June 30th. And then, you know what? I'll let Tasson, if you want to just do a quick rehit on that Tomahawk.
So we're going to be at Blade Show in Atlanta, June 6th through the 8th. Our booth number is going to be 2517. We're going to have our exclusive collaboration with Winkler Knives, the Dead Air Axe, Dead Air Tomahawk, with 3/4 inch wrench flats on their newest axe profile. So if you guys want to snag these, serial numbers 1 through 25 will be there with exclusive patches and signed boxes from Mike Pappas and Daniel Winkler. So going to be super sweet. Limited quantity on these guys, so if you're in the area, come by. That's one way to grab the most exclusive one of these. And then we'll have a few of these for offer to our Asylum members for purchase. And if any are left over, they'll go on the web store, but I don't think they're going to be left over. So check those out, and we'll have more information on all these events and the axe on our website, on our newsletter. So make sure you guys tune in to all those things. If we didn't answer your question, please give us a call or shoot us an email, info@deadairsilencers.com. Shoot us a DM on all of these platforms. We're happy to talk to you guys, and we will see you guys on the next live.
Have a great holiday weekend.